Do not buy new construction until you watch this video. I'm going to give you the scoop on exactly what to expect when you're buying new construction as far as what the update is here in the West Michigan area. For things to do and sights to see, you are now watching Live Great TV, and I am your official host to live in Great and Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. Got my gloves on. Hey, if you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area, what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, make sure you go below, tap that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, or at least hit the like button so you won't miss out on all the brand new videos that I put out each and every week, because I love making these videos for you. But even more than that, as a licensed real estate agent in the state of Michigan, I love helping you make that transition over to the West Michigan area. So my information's right here, right below here, so you can get in contact with me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And with that being said, let's get right into the video, talk about some new construction. Okay, like I said, right now I am in Hudsonville at one of the newest developments, and right now there are some big changes as far as what's happening in the real estate market. One of the big things I want to point out as number one is going to be price negotiations. Now, in regards to new builds and getting new construction, you had over the past 5 years, you've had very little room to negotiate. Sometimes the price, just what the price was, you kind of had to take that or leave it. And nowadays, people are getting better deals on new construction homes. Since the amount of buyers have slowed down, we're seeing that the builders are being a little more flexible. They're being a little more lenient in regards to some of their pricing. Now, when it comes into pricing, you don't want to go in and think that you're going to get 30-40% lower than market value for the house. But in regards to those negotiations, I've worked with clients where we save $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a particular house, and that's a huge deal when it comes to your monthly payment. A lot of people who are out there that are living, they just don't want to be house broke. They want a nice place. They want to be able to live and enjoy their life as far as the expenses. And so knowing that you can actually have a little wiggle room nowadays, that these houses aren't flying off the shelf like they were before, things are slowing down. So you have a little more leverage, a little more opportunity to help these builders move some of these units, but still not break the bank when you're doing so. And another reason for that is because of the fact that buyers are looking at buying brand new versus a house that's already built. The timeline's a little bit better. So if you don't have an aggressive timeline, that's going to help you out, especially in your negotiating with those builders. All right, one of those things to consider also is going to be the builders' incentives. Are they doing anything in regards to getting you into the home? Do they have any specials? Do they have any deals going on as far as what they can throw into some of these houses as you're making your decision? You want to make sure you scout out a few different builders, do your due diligence, speak with agents in the area that can kind of give you the know-how and what other people are saying in regards to those properties. Not every builder works the same. So finding out what incentives that they'll be able to do for you as you're purchasing a new home is going to give you the best benefit long term. Now, with that being considered, is that different builders have different means of getting materials, and some materials even back the past couple years, we had a huge deal where shipments weren't coming in on time, and they had to delay on sales. They had to pause for a while in order to get those properties in, and a lot of them even had to inflate their prices even more to kind of slow those buyers down because that demand was so high. Now that they're actually getting caught up, those material prices are coming down. Now they're ready to start moving some of those units, which gives them a little more wiggle room in regards to what I was speaking on earlier to help you get a better deal. So knowing your timeline, knowing when you're going to get into the home is always something that you want to know up front. And usually whoever the salesperson that you're working with up front or your realtor will be able to find out what are their timelines. How soon can I expect to spend my first night in my new house. Some people were backed up 14, 16 months even. Now we're in that 4 to 6 month range, maybe 8-month range, as far as being able to be in the house that you want, you know, based on those timelines from before. Now that they're moving, they're hustling and bustling. Even some of the houses that are going up behind me are going up fairly quickly. So people are excited to get into these new builds and get into something brand new. No one's ever lived in it, so it's a huge perk for you as you're moving into these new builds. Now, another thing to consider with each and every builder, most of the time when you go to these builders, they're gonna have their own lender. They're gonna have their in-house lender or preferred lender that they work with to help give you an incentive, because sometimes when they work with these lenders, they're able to give you deals that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. And that's a huge perk for you as a buyer who's coming in, you know, looking at what you can afford or put down. You may be able to afford more house, or you may be able to afford an upgrade in those houses along with some of their in-house lenders. Now, what I always suggest is, you know, I have a preferred lender that I work with, Adam. You've seen some of the videos and whatnot. And sometimes Adam is able to do things that those lenders aren't able to do based on your current situation, and you can take advantage of that as well. So it's always good to turn both of those stones to see, based on a local lender versus some of these builders who their lenders are, just so you know that you have the very best deal as you're making your decision to put down payments down, get deposits going, and start breaking ground into your new house. All right, another great thing to consider when it comes to buying new construction is finding out about the house itself. Like I was saying, some of these lots are already designed for different layouts or different types of homes. And when you're thinking of that, you want to know if the house is up for any modifications, if you can do any upgrades, see if you can get that walkout basement on some of these lots. You know, some of these, as you can see behind me, they have hills here, and some of them have different layout or landscaping as far as where the terrain is here. And some of them you can get a walkout basement, some of them you can just get a slab. So knowing exactly what those lots will offer is also going to be a big deal to see whether or not they have already designed that house, which is what they call a spec house, which is already preset. Everything's been picked out, everything's been accounted for on that particular house. Or if you have more wiggle room to choose your basement foundation, to choose those fixtures, to choose the color of the house, or you know what's going on in the area, so that way you have more say as far as what the house will look like. Make sure you're asking that on-site sales manager or salesperson you're working with, or your real estate agent, to see, hey, what can I actually do here? What's already been set in stone? How much room do I have to actually put my own personal touch to the house? And what is that gonna look like? So that's always a big deal when you're going to actually purchase a home, on how much you can actually change in regards to that. And take note that sometimes during that process, the builder will get to a point where everything's been set. It might be that the foundation's already been poured and they haven't done the framing yet, and then you're just there, you know, you got to look at what's available. Sometimes they're a little more lenient with, you know, paint colors and where things are as far as fixtures. You can do that, and that's a really big deal. Another great part of the process, you know, working with clients, is going to be the design center, and going into the in-house design center to see exactly what those colors are, to see exactly what those fixtures look like. A lot of these builders are going above and beyond to get the very best of those designs, so that way you have a lot of great choices to pick from. So going through the design center it's a great experience. You get to see the kitchen sinks, you get to see some of the fixtures, faucets, lights and things like that. So that is an exciting time of the home. Be a little careful when it comes to picking out those fixtures, because depending on what is exactly included in the purchase of the home, you're going to get to know that as well. So if you need to upgrade, it's super easy to get carried away, and you could easily be $50,000 to $75,000 over budget. You know, just by picking some of the little things that you want to upgrade over a while they begin to add up. And at that point, you might be a little over budget. So make sure that you're paying attention to what's included versus what those upgrades are. And you know, keep your on-site salesperson or your sales manager, whoever you're involved with, up to date along the way, so that way you don't go too crazy or go too high above your budget. Now, speaking of what is available or what's included into the purchase, some of the builders and developers that are out there are taking into account the entire project. So they're looking at things such as an AC unit or appliances or a garage door opener. If you take, let's just say 1,000 properties, that you're adding all those garage door openers, that could be something that is not a huge expense for the person who's purchasing the property. You know, overall, that could be a lot more money than they plan on paying in regards to, you know, being profitable. But now that those expenses for some of those products have gone down, some of these builders are able to throw in the AC, throw in different things like the garage door opener, or throw in different incentives as far as you getting into the house and you living comfortably right out the gate. One thing that is really also very, very important that you can use for your negotiations is going to be the landscaping. Knowing that, you know, typically in the front of the house, they usually will provide some sort of baseline landscaping that the HOA is going to require, but a lot of times in the backyard, they will have nothing. Like, more times than not, in the backyard, they won't have any sort of landscaping packages. So with that being said, you can use that potentially, since those expenses are lower, to negotiate. A lot of times when you're doing that landscaping, you're gonna have to pay out of pocket. So what you can do is, if their price is a little bit higher, you can say, you know what, if we're gonna pay this higher price, we're gonna need you to throw in some concessions, or maybe take $15,000 off our down payment to get our backyard landscaping. Or if you want to go hand pick someone to do your landscaping, that's a really big deal as you're deciding to move into a house. You want to have that nice curb appeal, especially if you're in an area of other nice houses where you really want to have the, you know, you want to have a good, you know, nice environment as you're out here. So it's a great thing to know that you have that ability to talk with them, to negotiate with them before everything's final, because once you get done with the house, it's pretty much done. But on the other hand, when you're working with the on-site salesperson or sales manager, whoever your person is who's going to be your liaison for walking you through the sale, they'll be able to keep you up to date all along the way. And before you're done, you'll have what's called a punch list, which is basically a checklist of everything going through the house, to do your last tweaks, to do your last upgrades, or your last, you know, final inspection, just to make sure everything's good to go. And then from there, you can make sure that before you close on the house, all those things are taken care of, you're happy with it, and you can move into the house accordingly. Some of the builders will actually give you a certain timeline after you move in, even to call them, call that on-site sales manager to make sure you're in there okay. And that's a huge highlight when you're buying something brand new. These are different types of problems. So it's a good thing to know you have some people that are on your side to make sure that you're having a great experience, and you can actually tell others about them so that they can, you know, continue on their business. So it's a big deal when you're moving into these houses. All right, that's it, you guys. Hey, I just wanted to go over and tell you exactly what to look out for before you buy new construction here in West Michigan. A lot of people don't look into these things. They don't do the due diligence. They don't see exactly what to expect, and they end up in a bad situation where they're just like not really knowing what's happening. So it's good that you're watching videos just like this to help equip you, help prepare you, get your mindset right, get you excited, make sure you're doing everything accordingly that's going to best suit you. So again, this is Vaughn Greathouse, your local real estate agent here. For Things to Do and Sights to See, this is Live Great TV. I'm your official host of Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. Like I said, this is Vaughn Greathouse. If you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell, or at least hit the like button so you won't miss out on all the brand new videos that I put out each and every week, because I love putting these videos together for you. But as a licensed real estate agent, I want to help you make that transition smooth. So feel free to contact me anytime. And with that being said, I will see you on the next video.